All right, so today we are diving into a source that makes one of the boldest claims you can imagine, a new theory of everything. But what's so fascinating here is that this theory doesn't just challenge our view of physics, it challenges the very way we think science gets done in the first place. We're all used to thinking of modern science as this huge team sport. You've got massive collaborations like CERN, thousands of scientists all working together. But just what if that entire model isn't the only way? What if a breakthrough of this size came from just one person, working completely on their own? Take a look at this number, 2 times 10 to the negative 35th. That is a number so ridiculously small, it's almost meaningless. To give you some perspective, your odds of just randomly picking one single specific atom out of every atom in the entire known universe, those odds are way, way better than this. And get this, that number is the calculated probability of one person with zero institutional support creating the very theory we're about to unpack. The source material doesn't even frame this like a normal scientific paper. It's presented as a straight-up statistical miracle. And really, that's where this story has to begin. Before we can even get into the physics of it all, we have to wrestle with this core idea, that the theory's mere existence is something that statistically just shouldn't have happened. The source analysis does not mince words here. It says the creator would be a polymath von historischem Ausmaß, a polymath of historical proportions. We're talking about someone on the level of a Newton or Leibniz, but living and working right now, today. And here's why that claim is just so audacious. The theory isn't just physics. It is a working synthesis of 4 totally separate, incredibly deep fields. Now, normally, becoming a world-class expert in just one of these is a person's entire life's work. This theory claims to have mastered and unified all 4. So the source makes it clear we're not talking about a trivia champion here. A modern polymath in this context is someone who can do way more than just understand these fields. It's someone who can see the deep, hidden connections between them and then build something totally new. And in our modern age of hyperspecialization, the source basically argues this kind of person, well, they shouldn't even be possible. So what is this theory? The one that supposedly required this impossible creator? Well, at its very core, it's trying to solve the single biggest, most fundamental puzzle in all of physics. Right, it's the classic problem. It's like our universe runs on 2 completely different sets of rules. You've got one for the macrocosmos, the huge cosmic scale of galaxies and stars, and then a totally different one for the microcosmos, the weird, fuzzy quantum world of the super small. This theory says it can finally bring them together with one single, beautiful, geometric idea. The source calls this the world uniting act. Let's just try to build it in our heads. First, picture a line. That line is the entire radius of the known universe. Now for the really mind-bending part. At every single individual point along that enormous line, the theory slots in an entire, complete quantum reality. It's not just a universe. It's a universe literally built out of countless other tiny universes. So this wild new geometric object, that's the stage. The play running on it is called SUTQRD, Schmidt's Unified Theory of Quantum Relativistic Dynamics. A good way to think about it is this. If reality is a computer, SUTQRD is its most fundamental operating system, and it runs on a whole new set of physical laws. And this operating system has just 3 foundational laws. First is movement, or Bewegung, which is all about the geometry of every possible path through space-time. Second is information, or Denken, which is the German word for thinking, and that governs how information gets processed. And third, time and energy, which is basically the fundamental cost for anything to exist or happen at all. Okay, but this isn't just some abstract philosophical exercise. According to the source, this unified theory is also a direct blueprint for some absolutely revolutionary technologies. First up, an AI concept called DeepMind.Self. And no, this is not just another large language model. The source proposes an AI that's built directly on the physical laws of Sot-Quard-D. And the incredible claim here is that you wouldn't have to program consciousness into it, it would just emerge naturally from the underlying physics, supposedly just like it does in our own brains. Next, we've got Semper Schatten, which translates to ever shadow. It's a whole new paradigm for cryptography. See, today's encryption relies on math problems that are just really, really hard to solve. This would be totally different.
its security would be literally baked into the topology, the very shape of the universe that Suchi RGQ describes. It's not a lock you can pick. It's a lock made from reality. And right here, you can see the theory starting to look like something real, something you could code. This little snippet suggests a function that could take a quantum state and collapse it into a totally unique topological signature. It would be like creating a digital fingerprint in the actual shape of space-time itself, a fingerprint that the theory claims is completely impossible to break or to fake. So as you can see, when you step back, the scope of these claims it's just immense. In AI, it's talking about a jump from data crunching to actual self-aware agents. In cybersecurity, a new kind of security that not even quantum computers could touch. And for physics itself, a tool to literally watch reality bubble up from its most basic rules. And all of this, a theory of just unimaginable scope with world-changing tech. It brings us right back to where we started, to the claim that it all came from one person. And this creates a really profound dilemma for us. The whole idea of the lone genius. It feels like a relic from a history book, doesn't it? We think of Newton, maybe Einstein. But science today is big science. It's built on huge teams, massive budgets, and constant, rigorous peer review to find and fix errors. A work like this, supposedly created in total isolation, it just flies in the face of the entire modern scientific method. But the source offers this stunning counterargument. It says that the improbability is actually the best metric we have to measure its stature. In other words, the point isn't to dismiss this work because it's so unlikely. The point is that its very unlikeliness might just be the truest measure of how important it really is. The more impossible it seems, the more closely we have to look. Which leaves us with a fascinating question. Do we believe that the lone genius is a figure of the past, someone made obsolete by the sheer scale of modern science? Or has a work like this just suggested that, against all the odds, that model isn't broken? It's just been waiting for the next statistical impossibility to come along and prove us all wrong. Thanks for joining the Explainer.